Alright. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to check something really quick. Times the Tide was done. So I can delete that. I delete things a day after. Because, I don't know, they may be mistakes or a glitch or something. Boom. Okay. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, gamers, to Logic Bombs. I knew you wouldn't be able to see that. Hold on just one moment as I do the intro. We are back. It's been... that hasn't been too long for you, but the thing is for me... Alright, everything's working. The thing is for me, if you didn't already see from the intro, like the first few seconds or probably minutes, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I've not played this game in nearly a month. Even though I've recorded it and it's only been a little over a week since the last time I dropped it. The thing is, that's not always how it works. Sometimes I get these videos out a little bit later than they're actually recorded. And that's something that I don't think most people understand about YouTube. And when you do this sometimes is like, sometimes you plan to record too much or you plan too little. And then the video gets out way later than it actually is released or something. Which is why when it comes to other things like new releases and whatnot, I feel like most people push that stuff forward a lot more so that they can get out there a lot sooner. And trust me, I've tried that before. It is a hassle. Alright. Anywho. I hope you're excited. I don't know how far we're going to make it, but I got my brain juice here. And I am excited. This is going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun. Alright. First thing right off the bat I'm noticing, there are 4 other bombs, 4 other stars, which means all these are cats that aren't going to explode by this Y bomb must be sectioned off. Like that. That's just the first thing I noticed. The second thing we have to notice is this 12 up here, and the fact that y equals 2. So if y equals 2, then what would x equal? Let's see. Y times 2 is 6, and then that leaves 12 minus 6, which means x would have to equal 3? Yeah, x would equal 3. So I can honestly start that simply. Actually, no, I cannot start that simply for all of you, but I can start that here with this x, and then I can move the same plot along. Actually, no, I can't even explode that way either, because thing is, I could just do both of these. So I think this is the only way I can truly start this. No matter what, this star is going to be connected though, so there's going to be a wall in between this to the Y. So the thing is, how's this Y going to get connected? Actually, I think we could start with a few things like how's this cat and this cat going to explode? It's through these bombs here. And now we realize that this X cannot connect to this Y because it would be touching an R star system. So instead, this Y explodes you, and I bet the same happens here. And there we go. So now we just have to make sure we get all the walls in between. There's one wall in between here. There's one wall in between all of this. One wall in between all of this. One wall in between all that. One wall in between all that. One wall in between there. One wall in between there. One wall in between this. One wall's on all those. There must be somewhere simpler that I can do this. Maybe I can do something with these 2 5s. Because the thing is, this is a total of 6 cells. This is a total of 6 cells. This one and this one here could be connected to the 5 because there can only be one wall in between all this, which means that there would only be available to be one wall there. But the thing is, like, you could just ignore that whole track and go through all of this, could you? Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's too many problems here. The numbers are just, they're too big, I feel. The same problem is done with like this 5, and this one. No, this one and this one, where there would only be one wall in each of those. Maybe I need to think about the blank spots, because what if those are both blank? Then yeah, I am right, because then it would overload this one or the other one. I am right. Okay, so I can start with that. Unfortunately, I don't know where the... Actually, I put you here, and then I put one here. Alright. 4s are done. Any other sections that are close to being connected? Unfortunately, no. At least I solved my one problem. Create a whole new problem of stuff. How to solve this particular conundrum. Well, there's gotta be one wall in between there. I know that already. Unfortunately, I don't know where. One thing I do find interesting, though, is if I put, like, a wall here, and there wasn't a wall in between this, it would all be connected. So the thing is, I think I can mark this as safe. And then since this is kind of mirrored, I think I can also do the same when marking this as safe. Can I? Yeah, because I need one wall on both the, like, these spots. Otherwise, it's going to, like... Look at that. It gets connected. That's not legal. So, wait, I can push that even further, too. Yeah, I can, because the thing is... Not only because of the whole fact that this one tells me that there's going to be a wall somewhere in here, it can also try and tell me where all the blank spots would be for all the non-walls. So let me try that. Like, if this was a non-wall, this would be a wall, and then that would be fine. If this was a non-wall, then something down there. If this was a wall, however, those would be connected. So it would be these 3 spots, which means all these spots are safe. And then can't I mirror that same idea over here? I think I can. Yeah, because it shares the exact same conundrum. And you know what? Because that actually helps me do the 5, which helps me do the 1, which and vice versa. It doesn't help me with the 2. But in vice versa, doesn't it help me with the R5? It does, and it helps me with the other one, which helps me with this 4, which helps me with this 4, which helps me with the 2. Which tells me that there is a wall in one of those 2, which tells me that these are safe, which helps me with this 5, which helps me with this 1, which helps me with this 2, which helps me with the 4, which can help me with the 2, which helps me with this 4, telling me that the 5 would go here. What is going on? The game froze for a moment. Okay. I got it. I'm back in the swing of it. This is the fun thing about logic bombs. Every, like, thing with the puzzle is so interconnected. Kind of similar to the Room series, I bet. Actually, yeah, it's got that same premise where everything's connected. It's actually something I never noticed before. Nice, that took us like 5 minutes. Alright, just making sure that you can continue to see it. Alright, this is interesting. 1 star, each of these has one. This star doesn't. And the only place that would work is over here. So everywhere in between cannot connect. So let me just start with all those things that can't touch one another. There we go. You got to breach out this way. I can't leave any blank spots in there, so that can be closed off. 1 wall in between you, which makes sense. I don't know about that. 8 walls here. It's fine. I'll figure something out. Actually, I can wall this off because the thing is, there are 2 other blank spots that would have to be walls. So the thing is, I have to think about what's the last blank spot. Well, if it was here, then, I mean, it's fine. We can do a connection like this, but actually, no, it's not fine for the 4 either. But the thing is that this connects to our star system, which we can't have. So that has to be walled off. This could go both ways, especially because, like, you could just connect it to, like, one of these systems, even though it would not really be a benefit of, like, space-wise, but it could work that way. 3, 4, 7, 2. Has to be a wall in between all that nonsense. I don't know where. Let me think about the breakpoints. If I connect you this way, that's an illegal connection. If I connect you this way, that's an illegal connection. So you must go at least this far, and then these have to be walls there. And then from here, I can finally do the 2. And now this has to continue going this way, no matter what, to get to you. And I just continue the path like a snake, while also avoiding anything that can get in direct contact with it. There we go. Now I know there has to be a wall in between you. There has to be a wall in between you. Or a blank spot in between all this mess. Well, it could be here, here. You don't really know is the problem. 5 walls, 2 walls, 4 walls. Oh, this 2 is done. Maybe that can help me. Yeah, it can, because the thing is, this is going to definitely have to be connected some way through here to get to this bomb and cat. So the thing is, you cannot be connected. I also cannot connect these sections, or I cannot knock you, or you. 2 walls in between all of this makes sense. I don't know where they go, but they go there somewhere nonetheless. Sorry. Just breathing. 7 can be done. 4 is done, so maybe that can help me. Actually, it can, because the thing is, again, no matter what, this has to go all the way down to here, which means you and you cannot touch this new section. What else can I do? 2, 4, anything? Am I also leaning too far that way? I'm sorry, just... Whenever the mic's here, I kind of want to lean this way, because it's like my thinking pose, you know, it's like... You know, the mic doesn't block my vision. 3... Let's see, 1 wall? No, 2 walls would go in between all of this. 1 wall between all of this, 1 wall between all of this. Oh, this 3 is done. Oh, that helps the 4, actually. Oh, cool. We didn't have to think that far about it. And now I know that you have to go down this way. You don't have to go that one this way, but you have to go this way and this way, which actually helps me complete the 2, which tells me that this is safe. Which tells me that there's a wall here, and then... I was right, that's safe there. See, that's why you can't just immediately connect it that way, even though you think it could work that way, because the thing is, that was blank, and the fact is that even though you would want to put a wall there just to block it, that's not how it works. You have to, like, go through the whole thing as, like, one entire process. Everything has to fall in its exact place. You can't just assume anything. But then again, at some points in time, you can try to assume stuff, but, you know, you have to be lucky enough, and if you're not lucky enough to do it, then, you just practically have to start over from where you're messed up. Alright. Just making sure. You never know. Alright. 10 cats. X, Y, A, and B bomb. I see 3 sections, which means that one of these number bombs is going to be a 0 bomber. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wait, oh, 10 in this area and 10 in this area. Okay, so never mind. Okay, you had me having the wrong track, because when I saw the 10 cats, I was like, okay, guys, there's gonna be, okay, it's a 15er. I thought it was almost a 20er. That's why I did that. But yeah, like when I saw that 10 cats on the side, usually it's the total count, but then you see it's like because of its own sections, and now it's like, okay, that's not how it works. So there is going to be one of the bombs that's going to be one that's going to be 2, a 1 that's going to be 3, and a 1 that's going to be 4. Let me start with the obvious. This X can only be a 4 or a 1. And this X can only be a 2 or 1. Well, you just gotta put the ones that are in common together. It seems pretty straightforward. Let's think about A. A can only go to 2, and now actually we can just continue this. There's no other way around it. So that means B has to equal here, Y has to equal to the 3, and then the A has to equal 2. Sweet. Look at that. We already figured out what all the numbers were. I have a feeling, though, that's not where this puzzle is going to be tricky. I think the tricky part is going to be deciding this. 1 star, 1 star. Which sections are connected to which? Well, from what I'm seeing, it looks like each section is only going to be connected to 1/2 of the entire puzzle. Unfortunately, this puzzle does you no favors by giving you any sort of direction on where to go. Maybe I can do something with the 7? Oh, yes, I can. That helps me with this 1. Actually, that one was already done. Never mind. This 6 can be done? Yeah, that 6 can be done. And it gives me no other favors with anything else. I'm seeing some things I might be able to do, but unfortunately there's too much other stuff in between it that doesn't allow you to do it right. Maybe the 6 can be done? Yeah, the 6 can be done. Okay, so can this 5 be done then? This 5 can be done. Okay, well there you go. So this star is connecting to that half. And then this star is connecting to that half. Unfortunately, I still don't know where this A is coming out of, actually. Now I do. Unfortunately, there's nothing that's connected yet. Well, actually, let's start with the breaches here and the breach here for the zero bomb because they have to be connected to any star system. You're not connected yet. Neither is this X. So those bombs there, I have to figure out what system they belong to, and then I can create basically the borders. I can do this 4 here, this 4 here. What else? 10 can't be done. This 8? This 8 is close, actually. It's off by 2. How about this 4? That 4 can be done. Would be the other one in accordance to things? Actually, that's pretty much down the middle, so yeah, that works. Still doesn't tell me where they're connected to, though. Big bummer. Maybe I can do something with this 1 and this 1? Yeah, because when you think about it, this is its own section right to here. So if I don't have a wall in between here or one in between here, we're going to have them both getting connected to each other, and we can't have that. Is that clear enough up with the 10? Oh my god, it does. That's incredible how that works. Oh, I see that extra wall there. I was about to say, how is that 11 working? And that 6 is here. That 6 are done over here. 4 is done. Anything else is done that I don't see? Anything connected yet that's new? No, those 2 are still undecided. I wish I could just say I could connect them, but the thing is, it could go either way. Which is so funny, because I have a feeling it might go, like, the opposite direction you'd think it would go. 8 is off by 2. 7 here is off by a lot. They're all 1s. They're all 1s! Jesus, are they really all 1s? This 7 isn't. This 5, 4. I'm looking at all these numbers now, and the only one that's not 1 is this 8 right here with the 2-er. That's crazy work right there. Ah, here we go. If this was a wall, these 2 sections would be connected. If this was a wall, they would be connected. There we go. Can I do the same thing with the other side, with this 6? 1 wall in each of them. If that was a wall, they'd be connected. If that was a wall, they'd be connected. That helped a bit. It didn't help by much, but it helped a bit. What else? What else? What else? What else? This is infuriating because look how close they are to touching those new X and Y bombs. They're just their own sections. If I could just figure out which one would touch which, this whole thing would be solved instantly. Maybe I can look at this 5, because one thing I'm starting to notice is that there's a section like this here, which would prevent this from being connected. But then anything else, and it would be connected to it. So the same thing would be happening here. So I think that's what we're supposed to do. These choke points here would tell you where the 5 would go. Because it can only go connected to once. Well, actually, no. Actually, no, that's not the case. Could it be both? No, it can't be both. That right there proves it. It can't be both. So yeah, that's where you get. The 5 can only have one choke point, which would be here or here. Which means that the rest of these would have to be safe. It's very dangerously all connected, but it's not connected enough. What is there else I can do with about this? Now, the 4 would probably reveal, if I decide which path to go. Funny enough, I think this tells enough story, because now the thing is, we realize the only way that you could get, well, actually, no, you could do one section, but the thing is, if I did this section not being connected, like so, then it would be there. But if I tried to do it, yeah, it would have to be there, because you can only do so much here. The thing is, if I did this, it would go to the other way, so it's like all or nothing. Like, both of these, it's all or nothing. Can I mirror that same situation with this 7? The 7? No. How about this 2? Is this 2, like, marked as its choke point as well? Bro, I don't know, bro. I don't fucking know. Because the thing is, it would be one or the other. So what would it look like? It would, if it was this side, it would look like this. And then you would go... And you'd have to disconnect yourself off like that. And then this 8 would have to do this, and then... I don't know about that one yet. Actually, no. That reveals it there. But the thing is, like, I think it could easily also just go the other way. Yeah, there has to be one ball in between there, but... That's connected now. These can't touch anymore. That's fine now. One ball between there would go around here somewhere because they can't be connected, so that would be safe. 7, there would have to be one ball between there because that would all have to be safe. Have to be one ball in between there, so that's where it is. Actually, no, this would be connected here no matter what. But this 4 would be unsatisfied. That's the kicker. That's what makes this whole thing fail. So it does have to be the more satisfying way. That's how it fails. Oh my god, that took so long to find. That took way too long to find, bro. Way too long. Way too long. Look at the pretty lights, though. That was a big one. That was a big one. I think the hardest part about that puzzle was the whole sheer fact that once I got to that point, it was all just a matter of like, it could be A or B. Like, there wasn't really a wrong answer there unless you actually tried it. Which is sometimes one of the hard things I think about this game. As well as similar, like, nanograms. Is like, sometimes you just gotta try something and see if it fits into place. And if it doesn't, then you just gotta get rid of it and try again. You know, sometimes some failures are doomed to have you choose one path and then you realize it's wrong. It's a little annoying, but whatever. Alright, what am I seeing? Let me just connect the obvious. And then what else? Okay, so you're not getting connected through any of that. That's good to know. What else can I do? 1 star per each cat. Okay, let me think about this star, because the thing is, I can't connect to you. Wait, no, 1 star over here would have 2 cat bomb connections. Oh, interesting. Well, then I have no idea what I can do with you anymore. Let me first answer the question of this 46. I have to do math. 11, 14, 19, 29, and then plus the other 9 would make 38, 46. So there are 46 in total throughout all this, plus the question marks. What about 30? Actually, if I do the whole math thing again, 10, 20, 30 already there. That one was quicker because I can do 5s better. So the idea is that this question mark and this question mark must equal a total of 16, meaning that there's 8 walls in between both because they already have 2 blank spots each. So I can just instantly do this. And then because of that, the question marks already add up to 46. So if I went even further with those question marks, we would go overboard because the entire grid must be even with the number count of mines and walls. Well, not mines, I mean like non-walls and walls. So the thing is, I can just mark both these all as safe spots. And now I can obviously bring this star outward, which means it's connected to here, which means that this star is never going to connect to any of that stuff, which means, well, you could still be connected through here if you... Actually, no, because how would this star get out? It cannot be connected that way, so that can be walled off. Unfortunately, this could all be its same separate section, so I can't do anything with that, but I can do some with this, and then I can do this. So yeah, that's that. Alright, what else can I do? I know there's probably more that can be done. 8, 5, 4, 2, 5, 3, 5, 5, 3 is done. 4, 3, no. That doesn't have to be right, because the only thing I know is that there has to be 1 wall in between here. So that's where you can continue, because I have to do this, and because that I have to continue this, which makes me know now that all those are their own separate sections, which means that I can also finish this, which tells you that those have to be connected somehow, so I can just ignore these numbers apparently now. Well, since there's only 1 wall left because this 2... Actually, this 2 can tell me a lot, because the thing we know is, if I did this, this creates an illegal empty section. So I have to do at least this, so far, of blank spots. Can I do the same thing for the 3? I can to here, but that's all I can do. But that's more than enough actually to help me with the 8, which I think helps me again with a few other notes, like this 5? Yeah, this 5 can be done. What am I talking about? The 5's done, which means I can help me with the 3. And then that can help me with this 5. No, it cannot. This 5, this 5. This 4 is done. My bad. I clicked the wrong button. This 5, 5, 5, no. 3, 5. Has to be 1 wall in between there. They're off by 1. I think that's the end of the fun. This 4 needs one wall in between all of this stuff. This 5 needs 2 walls in between all of this stuff, which means that I would either complete this 3, help the 5 here, so can that help me something? Maybe there are some interesting things you can see, because, yeah, like this 3 is only able to connect to either this 5 or this 5, which means that this 3 is only a part of, like, this entire thing with the 4, which would connect to the 2, and then again to the 5 and whatnot. So the thing is, I'm seeing, like, if this... No. If this was a wall, then the thing is, like, these would be blank. You'd have to do, like... No, not that. These will be blank. And then there would have to be no wall there, which means that the remainder for the 5 would have to go to all 3 of these, like that. Which would block you off, which would continue down the path, which means you would be the only place that that could go, which would unsatisfy this 3 and then this 2. Wait, did I do that wrong? No, wait, I did that wrong. Oh no, wait. Why is this working? No, wait, I wanted to find failure, not solutions. God damn it. I need one between there, one between there. You need to connect. Oh my god, the answer was right in front of me. I see it. I see it. The answer's so obvious. This bomb will never be able to do this because it does that. This cat will never be able to connect to this bomb because it does that. The only way that this entire section here can connect to this empty section here, which would make it illegal section if it's not connected, is by doing this, which solves this 5. No, actually it doesn't. Never mind. But it does solve this 5, which solves this 3, which will allow me to help solve this 5, which solves this 4, which solves this 2, which solves this 5, which solves this 5. Oh my god. I cannot believe I didn't see that. Unbelievable. This is another issue with the game. It's like there's so many different areas of logic and like skills you need to understand of like patterns and whatnot to be able to do this game properly and efficiently. And there's a lot of rules. Even though, like, the simplest thing about this is, like... No, how did I say this game? The thing about this game is that there's not many rules, but the thing is you don't realize that there are actually several rules which are all interconnected. Rule 1. Each bomb must explode a cat, and all the cats must be exploded. Rule 2. The stars must connect to each of these sections, leaving all cats and all other blank areas connected to at least one star system. Rule 3. There cannot be more than one star per system. Rule 4. Bombs cannot explode stars. Rule 5. Bombs cannot explode the same cat twice. And then the numbers which determine you how the total amount of each of the walls is for like rule 6, and then after that we get to this rule, which later gets us to the 0 bomb and the number bomb rule. So even though there's less than like 10 rules, it's still all very complicated, all very interconnected, and it's just a whole jumblation of a mess. But you know what? It's a satisfying game nonetheless, and I frickin' love it. I absolutely love it. Alright, what am I looking at? I see X, Y, A, and N bomb. Never seen an N bomb before. Also, 1 star per all these, which means the star must connect to all the stuff in here. Oh god, where do we begin? Oh god. I think the simplest thing we can start with is A. This A has to explode at least 3, which means that no matter what, the way you look at it, this A has to explode you, this A has to explode you, and that's what I can see so far. It doesn't tell me which way this goes, but that's one thing I see. The second thing is this B has to do the same thing. Funny enough, there are no B's. But even crazier still, the B cannot equal 3, which means it would have to do this at least twice or at least go down to here. So no matter what, you have to explode this row, and then you would have to either do this or this. I don't know which way is which way, because the A could also, as you can see, do a chain off to get to here, as well as get to here. But again, I don't know which way it is. What about the N-bomb? The N-bomb can explode 2 or 1. Y can explode 2 or 1. Where is Y? Y can explode 1 here. Y can explode 2 as well. Y can explode 2. Y can explode 1 or 2. This Y can explode 2, but would make it so that the B would have to be 6 and the A would have to be 3. All legal moves. What about the N? The N would equal 1 or 2. The N here could equal 1 or 2, depending on which way. Same with you. This is where we get to the actual rule. The X bomber. That's where we get this going. Okay, so let me think of the numbers right now. We have Y, which must equal a 1 or a 2, which means that this Y must explode this cat, which means that these X's are 0, which reveals to you instantly that the Y equals 1, which instantly reveals to you that the N equals 2, which tells me already from these things that these Y's will have to go this way, I don't know. But either way, it does tell me that N equals 2, which means I can block this off, this off, this off, this off. And now we know for a fact that A only equals 3, which means that B must be double that, or at least 1 more. And in case you didn't realize, the Y also has to equal 3. So the thing is, if I did this, these Y's would have to explode here, meaning this A would be nothing, which is illegal. So B must equal 4. And now we are completely on track with everything, and we can do Y explodes 1. And from here, I actually can't do anything else, because the Y's we've already established equal 1, and A equals 2. But the thing is, we don't know which way they have to go. All I can do is that, which actually, you know what, reveals the rest of the story, so never mind. I take it all back. Holy fucking crap, dude. Holy crap. I don't know what else I can say but that. That entire thing, just to get the puzzle started, was so cool. That was so cool. It felt so connected. This is why I play this game a lot, because there's just so many fun sections like that where you just have to really actually think like that. It's so clever. It's so impressive. All right, I need to connect to you. This star needs to connect to these sections. So many numbers everywhere. Let me start with this 5. Simple stuff out of the way. This 8 has too many spots it can go. 7. 7 can be done. 8. That's 5 plus that. Yep, that's 8. Alright, what else? This 8? This 8 has too many. This 8? This 8 is 1 too many. Which does make sense, because we do need to now think about pathing. How is this N-bomb going to connect to this star? Through here, which will allow me to do this. And now I also need to think about how is this N going to connect to this A? This way. So now can I do this 8? 5? Nope, that's too many. Well, that's fine, because there's probably some more secrets with this down here having to have another blank section, and this could probably connect this way, but we don't know that yet. What else can be done? This 10? Nah, this 10's off by 2. Question marks. I never noticed that, actually. Ooh, that's something we can use. Maybe not yet, but let's see if there's anything else I would do first. This 8 here, it's by too many. Actually, I do need to get this out here, so now that is connected. Actually, you're not connected. Now you're all connected. That section is done. So would that complete the 8 now? The 8 is off by 2. Which makes sense, because this A is not going to be able to come out unless it goes that way or down here. I'm not going to connect it that way because we've already learned that even though it's a perfect connection that way, there could be some mistakes that happen. What else? This 8 here has to be at least one non-wall in between this. 1, 2, 3, 6. Oh, that jibber jabber. Yeah, there's no way of actually knowing. Okay. 13's off. 10 is off by 1 down there at the bottom. That 10 is off by 1 at the top. That 9 is way off. And everything else, like the 7? That's 7 total down there. That's too many. So yeah. 8. 6, it's off by 1. That's crazy. Okay, so I think they do want us to use these question marks to our advantage. So let's look at this. We don't need to count this all up because this number has always led us the same before, 123. So that means all these connected together without the question marks is 110. 123 minus 110 is 13, which means these question marks equal 13 total. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So 13 minus 7, don't tell me. That's 6. So that there are a total of 6 walls left. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The rest are walls. And there you go. That is where we can continue. Right? I think. What did that do? Did that impact anything with this 8 or this 8? 4 walls left there. No, it doesn't tell me anything. 5 there. No, it still doesn't tell me anything. Nine? I think this 9 can be done, right? Oh yeah, this 9 can be done. That 9's done. Did that help? I'm not sure, but one thing I do know is this star has to breach outward, so that is already a guaranteed non-wall. And I think that can help me with that 7 up above. Nice. This 13's off. This 10 is off. I have to breach the star out again. Does that tell me anything new? 7 there? No. This 7 here? Definitely not. It can go either way, and I don't really think it matters which way it goes. Did that impact anything on this side? I don't think so. Huh. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I need to look for something that can help me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 8 is 15. That 8 was the kicker, which means now I can breach this out, which means that maybe that can help me with this 8. No, it cannot. It's still off by 1. So annoying, but it's true. It's off by 1. Actually, yeah, that does help me more because now I know because this star is still not connected. It's to breach out here. Now I can complete the 8. Now everything is starting to come together because now I have to connect this way here. And you know what? Looks like my original intentions were correct. Also lets me complete this 4 here. So that's done. This star has to breach outward. 8 here. 1, 2, 3. 5 left. Yes, you can do that very simply. Continue to breach outward. Can this 8 continue here? No, it cannot. That's too many. By 1, but it's still too many. But actually, because this N bomb has to breach outward, it makes it the perfect amount. Continue to breach you, and let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 1, 2, 3. And now we can continue to breach here, connect you. You have to connect here no matter what, and maybe we can complete this 8. We can. This is incredible right now. I'm just going to say that this fucking puzzle right here is incredible. Everything is coming along so smoothly. All the rules are being played so interestingly. This is This one right here may be one of my favorite puzzles so far. This is one of my favorite sets that we've done so far. I'm just going to say that much. This is a fun day. 13. 2 over there. 6 can be done. No. 9. And it's off by 1. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And... oh, well, you know, I've been miscounting the whole time. That is 5, not 4. My bad. How many of you were pointing that out? 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. 10, 1, 2, 3. Not enough. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's off by 1. 7 is off by 1. I don't think there's anything else I could do that good. Well, I know for one thing that this X has to breach outward no matter what, so either this is a non-wall or this is a non-wall, so I can actually make this a wall automatically by default. How about this 7? Same story here with this X. How is it going to get out? And you know what? That helps me complete the 9, which helps me, I think, complete this 10. Which helps me figure out how all this stuff is breaching outward. Oh, both are blank, huh? Nope, only one is blank. Right, I misread that. Well, it has to breach out that way. Holy crap! Ho 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 ho. I just want to note, it's only been an hour. We've already gone through quite a few. Like, these are definitely, like, not the most tricky puzzles. But the thing is, these are the most interconnected so far. Like, they're definitely getting better with the designs. This is so fun. I don't even remember how much this game was, but I swear, like, you know, I'm going to look it up right now. Logic Bombs, I don't know. Like, last time I saw it, I think it was like $8. This game is $5. Just let that stick in your brain. $5. And what? I'm only like halfway through, and we've been definitely doing this for like at least 10 hours for all these puzzles. Every video has been at least 1 hour, and this is like video 9 or 8. So, yeah, this has been several hours. And the thing is, I don't even put all this footage in there for you. I just like cut out some of it. So, yeah, this is definitely every dollar per hour rule. This is definitely worth the money. This is an incredible game. It's just spectacular, even. Okay, here's something interesting. 4 stars, 4 bombs, and I see 8 cats. Well, they have to be 8 cats. They have to. I have to figure out which bombs go to which cats. 1 wall, but for this 2 and this 2 means that you must be exploded this way and you must be exploded that way. Which means that this 2 can also reveal that you're going to explode here and you're going to explode here. 1 wall between you, 1 wall between you. Don't let those stars touch. What else? What else? What else? Well, actually, I can note because the bombs are also in their own sections, they cannot touch. So that's pretty cool to know. What else? You know, it's impossible for the star not to touch this cat, so whatever one this cat's exploding, actually, you know what? How is this cat going to... Actually, no, I was thinking it reverse, like the cat has to explode 2 bombs. That's reverse. I don't know which way it would be. It would either be because of you or because of you. Oh, man. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Maybe I need to be thinking about where the stars will be connected to. Because the thing is... if you were to explode this way, this star would be connected to you. And then this bomb would go this way, which means that this would be not connected to anything. But it means I would have to do like a wall here to breach that and make it so that you would have to connect to this one, which means that this star would have to connect to this bomb, which means that no matter what, this star would have to connect to this bomb. All very sound. So what if it went the other way? What if you went there? Well, then you would be connected to this star, which means that this star would have to find a way to, no matter what, connect to this bomb, which means that this star would have to connect to this bomb, which means that this star would have to be connecting to this bomb. Okay, I figured something out through all that. No matter what, this star is not connecting here. Okay, how crazy is that? That's how that works. How absolutely crazy is that? I also think that another thing that's crazy, because this would be connected here, this would be connected here, forcing the star to go to the R one, that these two stars are connected to these two bombs, also means the crazy ass logic that, you know, I would love to say that this could happen, but that's not possible. And I can't go around it, because then how else is this star going to connect to anything? And then how else is this star going to connect to anything else? You know, it's just not possible. So the thing is, this star is definitely connecting to this bomb system here, which means that there's no connection that can be made here, which actually, can that help me with some blank? Actually, it can. Because this is impossible, which means that there has to be a wall in between all of these, which means that you are deducted to be safe. Anything else that can help me? I know that this star cannot connect to this way, so if there was a wall here, that would make this entire thing impossible. I mean, a wall here that would make this entire thing impossible, so those are all safe. Anything else I can deduce? Yeah, again, there cannot be one wall in here, because then this entire thing would be connected down here. If this was a wall, that would be impossible, because this cannot connect to there, because it's already connected to this bomb section. It still doesn't tell me which bombs go to which cats, but the interesting thing is I'm starting to understand this sectioning. What else? No matter what. Like I said, you go down there, you're connected here. You go down there, you're connected there. Which means you would only be left with this choice over here, because of how everything works, or this choice over here. Which means that no matter what, we have to think about this star not connecting it here, which means this can't be a wall. And that's it. What about this here? Well, we have the same premise. These can't be walls, which now allows me to say that these can't be connected, because we can't have the same bomb section connect to another bomb section, because they're already in different star sections. What else can I do? Like I said, this star is connected here, so if that was a wall, all that stuff would just be wrong. So that's safe. So that's how you connect. And I forgot that almost there. Boom. And now I can branch you out, which continues this entire path, which now tells me that you're connected through here. Still doesn't tell me where the bombs connect, but that's okay. We can figure that out later. Because now, instead, I got these star connections. The only thing I have to figure out is how this star connects to this section, but that's fine. All I gotta do is continue branching this outward, and you know what? It may just solve itself. What else? This star cannot connect to here. Boom. And then I cannot connect to you there. And that helps with the 3. This star cannot connect to this section. This star cannot connect to this section. And what else? This star cannot connect to there. Oh my god, look how close this is getting to Zegler, and we still don't know where the bombs go. I can complete this. No, I cannot. Never mind. Ignore that. I can't do that. Actually, now I can figure out where it goes through this section. If it goes here, not only do we connect both sections of these stars, but we also, well, yeah, that's that. If this bomb was to explode this cat, we connect both star sections together. That's illegal. So it's got to go this way. So that immediately tells me now of a few other things of like, you are connected through here, which means that I can explode you now, which just reveals that this gets exploded this way, which means you have to be exploded this way, which means you explode that way. I solved that whole thing, and it took me that long to figure out where the bombs went at the end. That's a good puzzle. You know, a puzzle that, like, makes you have to rely on sectioning and not just, like, the pure idea of one simple step of having to solve where the bombs go. Because for so long, that was always the major concern. That was always the huge thing since, like, the very few things of the puzzles. This entire thing for the tutorial. And, like, even further, of just telling you all the sectionings and whatnot was all just about, like, hey, figuring out which bombs go to which. But instead, they decided to completely flip the script and ask the question, which stars go to which sections? I love that. They're like, there's so many interconnected rules. It's really so satisfying to solve. Like, you can't just rely on one piece of knowledge. You have to know the whole entire thing. What the fuck am I looking at? Oh my god. 36 bombs. We have an A, B, N, Y, and X bomb. 5 bombs. 36. There are so many numbers. This is nothing but pure math ass in the face. Holy Christ. Oh my god. I don't even know if I want to do this in my head, but I kind of want to try. Oh my god. Alright. Let's start with the big boy. The N. Okay. So there are 5 bombs. So the max we could go to is 5. Obviously, if N equals 5, that would be 60, which is illegal, so N cannot equal 5. N equals 4 would be 48, so again, N cannot equal 4. N could equal 3, which would make the entire thing explode through all the N bombs. But if that happened, not only would I bet there'd be a bunch of intersections already, which I can see through stuff like this N and this N, but the main kicker is we cannot have any repeat numbers because every other bomb number would be 0. So that solution is impossible. So N could equal 2, which means that would be 24, which means we'd have 12 bombs left. Okay. What can we do next? Let's start with the 4. Okay, so 4 at the most could equal 3, which would be 12. Again, making too many 0 bombs, so that solution is illegal. We could do 4 equals 2, which would be 8, which means we'd have 2 left, which means that the other 4 could equal... would have to equal 1, but then we have 2 2ers, so the 4 would have to equal 0. So that 1 2 could equal 1, but then the other one would have to equal 0 or 1 again. And the other one that we could do for that is 2 times 2 equals 4, which again would make that whole thing invalid. So from there, I think we've determined, especially because if we do like, let's see, we had 24, so let's see, 24, and then we have another 4, that's 8, so yeah, like, a 4 equals 0, and then we have 2 2s left, which means we had 2 and 2, or like a 0. Yeah, I think N equals 2 is impossible. So what about N equals 1? We get 24. Okay, so what about 4? What can we do 4 up to? We could do 4 up to 6, but then again, you always have to remember, you can never do it at the exact number because you have too many 0 bombers, so that's illegal. So what if we did 12? We get back down to 12 again for the remainder. So the next 4, that can equal 2. Now, if it equals 2 again, I think we're going to run into the same problem where we have 4 left and we have 2 2ers. However, the interesting thing is this time we can make that. Okay, so we have one solution we could do. N equals 1, which means that everything else around you would, let's see, N equals 1, 12, 1, 4 would have to equal 3, which would make 24. The R4 would be 2, which would make 8, and then the last 2 could not be 2. It would have to be 1 or... Oh, so that solution doesn't work. Okay, but what about 12, 12, 4? So we have 8 left. And we can't... Can 2 be 8? 2 be 4? Yeah, we can do a 2 be a 4. That's completely legal. Yeah, we can do that. We can not do 3 or 2 2, but we could do a absolute of a 4 0. So that solution works. I think the main idea before we continue any of that is if we have to answer if n could even equal 1, what would happen? I don't know, but I think it's a good enough query to ask. So let me just do this. And look at that. We have a equals 0. Which is already in itself answering a lot for us. Okay, so that means everything else would have to keep expanding out by 1 just to explode something. Yeah, because A is the only one that can equal 0. I forgot to wall that off. Okay, so now everything equals 2 again. That's completely fine. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, where were we? This N isn't done. That's fine. It's just because the, like, little lips here. These N's can't be more than 1. This N can't be more than 1. Can't be more than 1. You can't explode anything twice. You can't explode anything twice, so Y would equal 2, which means I can cut off all the other Y's, and there are no other Y's. Now I have to continue everything else off because nothing else can equal 2. So B would equal 3. X is now 3 as well. I cannot double explode anything, so that caps B off to B3. Now I can cap U off and U off, which means I have to now expand X over. Oh, I forgot this B right here. Hold on. I now have to expand X over to B3 and then 4. Did I legitimately just solve that? There's no fucking way I solved that. There's no way. I solved that? There's no way I solved that. Are you serious? Oh my god, that's a lot of cells, bro. That's a lot. Oh, these A's have to branch outward. That's something I can do. Because they all have to connect. Yeah, they're all connected. Everything is connected. Yay! Yippee! Any ones that would explode twice? Three, 2, 4. 4 can be done. Completes the 3, complete the 5, complete the 1. 7? 7. I solved that big ass shit with math? You know, actually, I want to say one more thing before that one. This proves to you that sometimes experimenting is worth it. Because even though it looks like I might have solved that with math, the real kicker in the pants is it wasn't the math that solved the puzzle. It was the n equals 1 scenario. The whole idea of, like, what if n equaled 1? Because when you think about it, yeah, there are a bunch of our solutions that probably could have worked with the 4, 2, and everything. But I just decided, hey, you know what? Let's just try n equals 1 first, see what happens. Because there were so many of those bombs already. So the whole idea is, like, what would it have already had to be branched out? All the walls in between there. And that whole idea of wanting to test that theory was more than enough to just make the rest fall into place. So yeah, even though you technically could solve that all with math, if you experiment with the whole n equals 1s once you figure out that it can't equal anything more than that, then there you go. You can just try it out, and apparently that's more than enough to make you solve it. Oh my god. Okay. This one is very cool. Because this one, it gives you the puzzle. But the idea is you have to get this star to this section. Oh my god. This completely changes the game. That is so fucking cool. Holy crap. That's awesome. That is just absolutely awesome. Who came up with that idea? See, this is why Logic Bombs is so much more fun compared to our, like, logic type games. Like, there's so much more you can do with it. That's so fucking cool. And there we go. There's our start. 12 here. We can keep going, but kind of hard to do at this point. And I will also create this start. Now, I could hold it, but, you know, I might make a mistake, so I'm just going to do it this way. It's all just scenarios of, like, no star section can touch an R star section, so that's why I'm doing it that way. And then these just equal that, and then you just branch this way, boom. All right, 12, 12. It seems like it's going to be pretty linear, except for this part here and, like, this half here. All right, let's see what we got. Because I see this question mark right here, which is going to probably answer the entire thing for us. 86 in this thing. Oh boy. 23 without the question marks. Again. Oh boy. Holy fuck, dude. Counting that is a nightmare. So, thank you for putting those there, because I'm just going to do the simple logic. 83 minus 86, minus 23. That makes 63. Holy crap. So there are 63 in all these question marks. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not even a good number you can divide it by, dude. You gotta be kidding me. But the other thing is, you're forgetting these question marks here and here. And there's only going to allow to be one wall in between all of this. So we actually got 89 minus 23. That makes 66. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 perfectly. And because it's so even, I bet there's not going to be more than 2 other walls down here and in here and all in total. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know where it goes also, unfortunately, but you know what? I think we can actually create an idea because we have to branch all this outward, so let's just think about it. Let's just think about it. If it was here, they're already connected, so that's a failure. So you have to do this. That's all you had. That's the beginning. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. That's the easy part. Ugh, that's the easy part. Thank God this 8 is here. Oh, fuck everything else, bro. Thank fucking Lord that 8's there. Is this 7 going to play nice? Yes, this 7 is going to play wonders on my soul. Oh my Lord. This question mark says 6. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck, we can't do more than 1 on each of those. So I'm stuck here now. I literally have no idea what I can do. Well, there are some more parts which I just noticed over here which we actually can think about. How is this going to connect? We need an extra section over here, so we can't connect here. We gotta have a blank here, which means we gotta block this off here, which means we gotta continue here, which means we gotta block you off, which means we gotta maze up here, which means we gotta block you, which means we gotta continue this way. That does not complete you in the slightest, but it does something. And I can use that same logic right here. Just simple areas of exits and entrances. That's the name of the game. But hey, look at that. That actually solves this 4. Which is going to help a ton, because now I can continue this entire pathing system here, which makes me go around like so, and here. And then I can continue to go around like so, again and again. And now we've actually, hold on. That's a point of impasse that we cannot, actually, never mind. Screw everything I just said. That is not true in the slightest. Oh my god, look at that. We got half the maze done. We got half the maze done. Wait. Damn. God damn, what? Pardon moi? Excuse me? The fuck are you talking? Did I... No way. No fucking way, dude. No fucking way. No way. Oh my god. My skills know no bounds. Ha ha ha! Oh my god. That one was fun. These puzzles, they are so fucking good. I love this idea. Because the whole concept of this one is it makes you think differently. You can go all you want with all these numbers. You can go all you want with all these different sections and whatnot. But as long as you know that this is a maze that cannot ever touch these extra sections of blank walls, it's the only way you're going to get through this. This is a whole new idea with all the same principles and rules, but it's in a concept in a way you've never thought about it before. And thanks to my brilliant expertise and years of just like playing games like Dungeons and Diagrams, I was able to figure out those choke points of where the maze would have to begin and start, and just have those intersections between that would allow the rest of the numbers to fall into place easily. That one is satisfying as all fuck. I love that one. That is probably one of my new favorite puzzles ever created for this entire game right now. That one was so good. And it wasn't even that difficult. All you had to do was think about it like a maze. That's so crazy. Question bomb? Wait. Whoa. We've never had a question bomb before, but also, this is very differently than an XYZ or a number bomb. Because it mixes both principles. The number bombs only equal to what the number is stated. The letter bombs equal to what every other letter bomb is stated. And they cannot equal any other letter bombs. The question bombs are a mystery. They couldn't equal each other because they're not number bombs. They can equal each other because they're like number bombs, but they also cannot... They don't have to respect the same rules where they all have to equal to each other because they're not letter bombs. It's a mix of both. And the thing is, it's also a mystery, just like the letter bombs are, because you don't know what it is initially. So the idea is one of these question marks, I don't know which, but one of these fucking question marks explodes this cat. The rest do absolutely nothing but sit on the sidelines. That's the puzzle. That's absolutely fucking nuts. That's insanity. This is, wow. That is one hell of a way to teach us a brand new concept. Question bombs. I never even thought of that before. That's so clever too, because it blends all the whole ideas of what we've been learning all together, and it just completely expands it. And not only is it like just slightly different, but it's so different enough that it just works. I'm astonished. I'm astonished. That's crazy. That's an insane rule. I love it. Alright, how am I doing this? 6? I don't know. 3? 5? No. Well, you gotta come out either this way or this way. And the thing is, if you try to come out this way, it would be impossible. So no matter what, you're coming out this way. Alright, there we go. That's something simple to figure out. Can I do the same premise with the 4? I can, because the thing is, if I try to bring you out this way, I mean, yeah, it's possible, but at the same time, there's going to be an extra wall in between here, which means that would have to be a wall, and then the rest of this would just be so awkward. But if I bring you out the other way, it's perfect. So, actually, no. There is no easy way to solve this 4. Damn. 8, 8, 8, 7, 7... You maybe consider some lights, because either you or you's gonna explode the cat, so either it does this, and then there's just... I don't know. One thing I find interesting is if this bomb explodes the cat, these have to be walled off. Which would do some interesting things with like this 3 here, and then this 7, then the 4 would be satisfied. This 6 is not being completed. This 7 is not being completed. These 8s are completed. Which would then help here and then here? Oh. It's black bomb. Haha, the light's black. That's cool. Wait, what? Wait, whoa, whoa. I was about to end the episode. Because we learned a new concept, but... What the fuck is this? Now, this may not seem important to most of you who are new to this, but the thing is, if you have not been paying attention so far, the thing that I've seen so far is that every time we learn a new rule, it leaves a single standalone level, or is like the last level to be completed before you unlock something else major. And the thing is, that's been the pattern throughout this entire game. Ever since the very beginning, we played tutorial levels and they would lock a shit ton of levels for us because it said we were ready. So this is another new concept that we're about to learn, I bet. What? Huh? What? Why is the... What? Wait, what? Wait, what? 12 cats. 3 bombs. What? What? Why is the bomb on the thing here? And it's not even like up here. Wait. Hold on. I was thinking of something, but I didn't know how to put it until now. What if the X bomb now, like these X numbers and Y, Z, not only equal, like, to each other, like normal, and like tell you how many cats explode, but they also reveal these fucking numbers up here for the walls! Dude, that's insane! That's crazy. That's a crazy concept, man. Is that how it works? I don't know. I'm gonna have to... I think that's how it's gonna work, though. Usually, though, these tutorial levels are very nice and explicit, so... I'm sure they'll point us in the right direction the further we go. Yeah, look at this. We're already going so far, and it's already teaching me so much. So x equals 1, y cannot equal 1 though, so what am I going to do with that? I think that's fun train is over. Let me think about the numbers at the bottom right now before I like really continue this. Actually, never mind. I can do a few things like this. Now can I stop? Just keeps going. Just keeps going, bro. Just keeps going. Right? There ain't no stopping it. So x equals 1? No, it doesn't have to equal 1. It can go this way. It can go that way. I don't know. You cannot touch you. Okay. I think that's the case though. Look at these y's right here. The thing is these y's equal here. So there's one wall here because the y's equal 1, but that's not right. These y's equal 2, so there has to be another wall in between there. Well, if it was here, it would end it. Yeah, I think that's the idea. I think that's how you have to continue this, is you have to understand that these numbers, I mean, these letters equal the numbers that are supposed to be illustrated on these letter bombs. Because look, if I exploded here, this y would have to equal 2, but this y bomb equals 3. That doesn't seem right, right? Well, the z could equal 0, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, because this cat can't get exploded. That's the concept. That's the idea. They have to equal the same. And now that this equals 2, this can explode there. Now that this equals 2, you can explode there, which means z equals 1, and then x equals 3, y equals 2. So where are the x's? X is here, x is here. Z cannot explode you, z cannot explode you. Z has to equal 1, so that is a wall to satisfy this z and also this z. You cannot connect. And then x says it has to equal 3. But the thing is, I could do this. Actually, no, I cannot, because I have to solve this 3. And now you may be looking at this thing being like, well, yeah, it has to be a wall, but why specifically? Because not only is it equal to 3 here, but also to avoid this blank spot. That is a cool idea, man. That is such a cool idea. Is that going to unlock a... No, there's more. Hold on, I can't stop now. I have to figure out what else we're... Whoa, they're mixing them. Oh my god. What? 6 cats? Hold on, let me think. Can n equal 2? I'm gonna try that actually. N cannot equal 2. N has to equal 1. That's the idea they're trying to teach us right now. That's what they're trying to teach us. The question marks can equal, not only don't have to equal each other of the question marks, but they can also equal letter bombs themselves. That's clever. Okay, so it looks like this question mark is going to explode one of those cats, so I can do this for safety. There's going to be one between you, so that's safe. These two ends are intersecting each other, which means that this end can only go here or here, which means that this... Hold on. Oh, these four are all in cahoots with each other. I don't know which goes to where, though. Oh, maybe this 5, because the thing is this end has to go this way or this way. There we go. Oh my god. That took me too long to figure that out. I am ashamed of myself. I should have looked at the bigger numbers, man. I should have looked at that. I should have seen that. Alright, so this N has to explode this bomb, which means that this bomb has to explode you, which means that there's a wall in between there. I don't know where, though. The star is breaching out to here. I don't know which one you're exploding. One wall in between there. One wall between all that means the rest of this is safe because the bomb can only explode one cat. Actually, no, the question marks, I remembered, they don't have to equal each other. So the thing is, even though the end only has to explode one of the question marks could explode twice. And then the R question mark could explode nothing, and then the R question mark could explode just a single one. Oh no, this just got way too complicated. Maybe that can help me, that no question mark can equal 0? That doesn't... No, that's not right, though, because question marks can equal 0. So the thing is, like, this doesn't have to work. I gotta try something, though. Maybe... I don't know. Maybe no... I don't know. I don't know. Oh my god, I see my entire thing right now. I see it. This 4. Now what? You could explode both. That's the problem with the question mark bombs. Like, they can explode any number, and they don't have to equal each other, but they also can equal each other. Oh, that's infuriating. Uh, 5. No. Can I do something with this over here? I can, actually. Thank goodness. Because at the most, those could be walls, so at the thing, like... At the most, this can only be blank, even if you wall... Actually, yeah, you can't wall this off, so that's safe, and then you also have to keep that there, because... Even though you could extend it, the thing is, like... You can't leave any extra blank areas like that. It's illegal, so... Yeah, that's what you gotta do. What else? What else? One wall in between there, which means those are safe. That's fine. I can already use that. How about this end? Can I use anything with this end? I think I can, because the end can only explode one of these areas. The R would just be boarded up with walls. So that's a wall. And I don't know which way it goes. I can do this 4. That 3 is done. That's connected. Good. What if I was to do walls here? That has to be a wall. That has to be a wall. That has to be a wall. There you go. Which can help me with the 4 here. 6, 5. Actually, I can do stuff with the end now because I already figured that part out. So that's good. Now I can stop you now, but unfortunately I can't just do this even if I wanted to. Because you don't need to explode any cats. I find it really interesting that they're making me actually like have to really figure out these rules of these bombs without telling me any rules. That's very impressive puzzle design. 5? No, that's off by 1. 3. Yeah, there has to be one wall in between there, which means that's safe. Oh, wait, I could solve this 7. Ugh, yay. One wall in between there, which means the rest would be blank. I don't know what it would do, though. See, I was right. There's a question mark that can explode both cats. I knew that would happen because it just... Because when you think about it, it's just a tricky-ass thing that they would do just to try and trick you. That's what they're trying to teach me, though. The question marks don't have to equal the same number. They can equal 0 again, and they can also equal any letter bombs or number bombs. That's just so freaking tricky dicky. Oh, Lord. Ooh, I love the purple and the black. That's such a cool mix. It's like Black Panther. Good vibes with that. Oh my god, we got more rules. Guys, I might have to put this in 2 episodes. What? Oh, it's doing this thing again. Okay. What's the difference now? Because the thing is, like, I see there's 3 of each and 3 cats, so Y or X is going to equal 0. What if Y equaled 0 here? That's impossible. That's the idea. Because look, if Y equals 0 here, it's impossible, so no matter what, Y has to equal 1 because of this whole, like, bomb right here. Because this is what happens when you try to make Y equal 0. It's impossible. Y has to equal 1. And also, that solution is just not going to work either because of this. So, Y equals 0. X... I mean... I mean the opposite of what I was trying to say. Y equals 1, X equals 0 is what that shows. Ooh, okay. I might have to wrap it up soon. I am starting to lose my voice. Alright, so if X equals 0, blip. Sweet. This has to equal 1 between all that stuff, so I can do this. I don't know where the rest go. 5, I can do 5. 5, I can do 5. I can't do 4. 7, no, close. Ah, this Y is done. That's something that this is teaching you. That's cool. Which means I can now do this 4. Which means I can do these 3s. Which means that you're starting to branch outward. What else can I do? 8, 7, 7, 6. No. This still... Oh, this one's done, because this one already has 1 wall. And then I can do these 4s. And then I can't do 6 or 7 or this 7 or this 8. But, I mean, this is all still here. Maybe I can use the question marks right now. It's probably where they want me to do. 25 minus 34 is 9. 4, 5, 5, that's 14. What about any of those other, like, question marks? Wait, how about these numbers here? Let me see. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 6 is 12, plus 7 is 19, plus 7 is 26, plus 8 is 34. They don't include these numbers in here for the letter bombs. Whoa. So that can help me with the question marks, because now instead of 34, we got 37. So what's 37 minus 25? That's 12. It's off by 2 in all of this stuff. Which actually makes sense, because how else does this X get out or this X get out? Which actually already helps me with these, with this 7 here. But it also just tells me that these question marks can almost be done. They're off by 2. Oh, wait, this can be done here. So, no, that one doesn't have to be done. I didn't mean to do that, actually. That was an accident, but well, I'll take it. Anything else I can do? 6 has to go out this way, so these have to be walls. I don't know where this X is going. I can do this 8, though. 7 has to come out this way. Just pathing system, that's all. Come out here. Boom. And then there's one wall that goes in between all of this. I don't know where, though. Yeah, because it doesn't matter, does it? It's one wall. What's going to be the key difference in where I place it? Maybe I need to add up all the question marks because I have 12 in all this stuff. Did I do something wrong? Oh yeah, this Y is already done. Okay. It's tricky. Like, you need to always be looking over them. It's a lot harder than they are. Oh my god. What do you mean? What do you mean the final level is not unlocked? What the hell is going to be the final level? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. This has gone on long enough. It's been an hour and 45 minutes recording. I feel like most of this is not going to be cut out. I'm just going to get a good preview of what's come next time. It's a whole lot of crazy ass shit. Just, God. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh Lord. I think we'd have to start with this one because the idea is like, how's this cat getting exploded? How's this cat getting exploded? It would have to be through some chain of being like, wall here, wall here, wall here, wall here. But you gotta get exploded, so you're gonna like get exploded either through here or like here. But again, it doesn't. It don't reveal anything, do it? No, it don't. It don't reveal anything at all. This 2? This has gotta be one wall here or here at least. Yeah, and it can only be one because, you know, then where's the other one going? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, man. That's gonna be hard, man. Like, I'm looking at this, and I like, God, the more I look at this, the more I'm like, how the fuck do you start this? Because no longer can any of these bombs be equal, so that amount of logic is out the drain. We also cannot tell what types of bombs these are, because there's no numbers, so that logic is also out the drain. So now we have to rely on other logic from nearly the beginning of the game to make this the hardest puzzle possible. Because, as crazy as it may sound, there are solutions like this that are now possible. Actually, no, it is not impossible because, never mind, you have to branch outward. But that's my idea. That's the thing. These bombs can go in many, many different directions. You can do this and it's legal. You can do this and it's legal. You can do this and it's still legal. It's absurd. Hell, you could even do this and that would be legal. Well, actually, no, that would be illegal, but You know what? There you go. That helps us start something. And the same thing can actually be said here, because if you think about if this goes down there. Okay, there. I've started something, and you know what? I'm going to continue this just a bit. There we go. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done. All right, hold on. Oh my god, wait. No, wait, stop. I'm not trying to do this on purpose. I'm just looking at the amounts of logic that are just basic and trying to stop them from spreading. I'm done now. I'm done. Okay? I'm not touched. Well, actually, well, Nope. No. I'm done now. Now I'm done. I don't see any more basic logic that you can well, actually, no, that's not. Well, actually, no, you don't have to go the way. Yeah, I'm done. Because otherwise I have to think further, and then I have to process some more, and then at that point we're just going to be solving the whole puzzle. Because they just fall into place so easily. Alright, I'm done. Cool little sneak peek. There are so many in store. Like, how much is this? 160. Oh my god, I did 5. It's 3 because I said -5. Duh. Ugh. Okay, 16 times 3. 16 times 3. That's 66. No, wait, no, it's not. That would be 30, and then 6 times 3 is 18. 48. Plus 11. 48 plus 11. 59. That's still a lot of levels, though. Holy fuck. 59 levels to go, and we just mastered all the mechanics right before the finale. Oh my god. Bro, this is gonna be many episodes worth right here. We've finally made it to the end game. We finally made it to, like, the blazing finale of it. And it's been way over 10 hours doing all this shit. Oh my god. Holy crap. This game is not pulling any punches. It's not pulling any punches. It expects you to use so many different types of logic just to figure out the puzzles, even though all the rules are the same every single time, except for when you learn a new mechanic, obviously. But the thing is, like, other games like Temetsi and, like, Minesweeper, they all have that exact same system in mind, and they're just, like, more complicated, and they're, like, more based on their design. This is an incredible game, because it not only, like, are the designs making you have to think a different way each time to learn more different skills, which will help you later for other puzzles, but there's barely any times where you have to really repeat other skills, where you have to think of things in a different way and think outside the box, basically, every single time you come into this anew, just to figure out every single new puzzle there is to come. It's insane how many mechanics that you have to think about just to begin to map this all out. And it's all, like, there's not more than, like, 10 rules in total. So having to do that so many times is no wonder I've been wanting to come back to this so much. Every puzzle feels so different. It's incredible. It's so replayable, too. Well, it's Dusted. Thanks for watching. Peace out, gamers. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a fantastic day. And at this point in time, I think I can tell you that if you are excited for any of the puzzles to come and you don't want to wait, pick this game up for yourself if you can solve them on Steam. Don't look at any videos because it will ruin a lot of the logic and fun. If you think you cannot solve them on your own, though, then stay tuned because we are going through all of them. This has been an incredible ride. There have been so many different skills that have come in so handy with this game. And I cannot actually believe how far it's going how far it's been going and how many times I've been able to relate it to any other types of games I've played. And now it's gotten to the point where it's actually feeling like its own unique premise because I've started to actually understand how many different types of mechanics and solutions and different databases you can learn just by trying to solve these puzzles. It's insane. All the different things that you can do, and yet Sometimes you just have to be thrown out the window and be like, hey, it's a maze. Hey, it's played like this. Hey, what if you just tried this? It's insanity. And you can tell by how difficult it is, because as I'm playing, you can see me in my head talking to you, going through solution 1 by 2 by 3 by 4 by 5, all the way down, all the different rules to figure out what can I do next. And then coming to the conclusion that what if I have to think of this way instead, which is only exclusive like that type of level. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. This is an absolute gem. I don't know why not many other YouTubers I see have not been doing this. I mean, it's because they're not puzzler gamers, but I mean, God, how many other people have played this? I need to know. Oh my God, that's not even like an actual person who's played it. That's, yeah, like the only people that are doing this are like people who try it once and like do like tutorials of it, play it live, or like just announcements. That's insane. I feel like this game deserves more love. I feel like this game deserves more love. Like, I know it's small and I know it's just puzzles, but this is honestly a lot more well designed than a lot of the R games, especially the Room series, I have to say. That's insane. Seriously, share this with your friends, please. I can't believe how far this game has gone. All right. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you all later. That's crazy. Like, God. So many outside the box solutions thing. Like, if you're into that kind of thing, this is the game for you. So stop watching and go buy it for yourself. This is fantastic.